It is the Riot podcast. Hello.
So this is the last podcast for the week with Hudson because he's going to Connecticut. I want people to know where you're at.
Yeah,
the
so
state
they can
at
come
least.
find me.
Yeah, because I don't think
The Nutmeg State.
No one talks about Connecticut enough, so I want like them to get at least some promotion.
This is the first Connecticut vacation I've ever heard of in my life.
I know.
I'm actually heading to Connecticut.
Yeah,
This is where he spring breaks too.
There's not a lot in the tourism brochure for Connecticut that actually gets you excited.
But when you have family and family's how you vacation, then that's what you do. So Isaiah's going to be filling in through Monday, and I'm off on Tuesday. So when you come back, Hudson, it'll be you and Isaiah.
Yeah, well, we'll have a lot to catch up on,
you
I'm
better
sure.
come back.
Oh, yeah. We can't leave Isaiah alone. We can't trust Isaiah by himself.
Today on the show, you may notice right now that Hudson and I in specific sound kind of off. Because
I think I've cleared up.
I have not.
I think you both haven't.
I have not cleared up.
I'm not sniffling anymore.
I think I'm sniffling worse right now than I was when I woke up.
Great. Everything's fine.
But we're all recovering.
And you'll find out that Hudson just knows.
He just knows that he's... Exactly. Right now he's like, I think I've cleared up. I know.
I was right. It was just... it's just a thing that comes and goes. Every once in a while, you get... like your head's a little stuffed up or whatever, and you can tell this is just the normal ebbs and flows of your life.
Oh, yes.
It's not a life-endangering infection from a viral disease. It's nothing like that.
No, it doesn't sound like it at all.
No, it's not.
And we find out that maybe if we just use a little bit more fruits and vegetables, we might be happier. We might also be less sick.
Unless they're green beans.
Less congested.
Unless it's green beans. And then you will not be happy.
Yeah, you will not at all.
So after that, then we'll get into the green bean topic pops up.
Yep.
And I don't know what you'll feel about Isaiah after we talk to him about some stuff.
Yeah, we're seeing him in a whole new light.
What?
I can't look at you. Like,
what?
I can't look at you.
Listen, what I said wasn't even controversial.
It is.
What? Yes, it is.
There's no way
it's really controversial.
You can't
what do
talk
you
like
mean?
That. So find out why you could be mad at him.
Isaiah is the villain of today's show, for sure.
I was made into a villain. I was just expressing my thoughts.
Hey, I think if you would have kept going, it would have gotten worse.
Yeah.
What?
Sometimes you just gotta know when to
turn the microphone on.
I know you're dating and your food protocol.
Yeah. So just know that if you came on a first date with me, there might be a time when I might just leave the date. and you would have no idea
why.
You would have no idea
You'd
why.
You'd be totally in the dark. It's
and
like,
I think you'd be crushed when you find out why.
I think if you found out why, you wouldn't be that upset. You'd be like, that guy's just a weirdo.
Yeah, you're right. You'd be like, he's the one that's wrong.
My For You page is full of people who go on dates and then they make TikToks about like how bad it was.
Yeah.
You would totally be on one.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would be like, I ordered an appetizer and he left.
And he left. He was done. He was so upset that I ordered an appetizer.
So listen to what we talk about, and please let us know your comments and your thoughts about Isaiah and all that we talked about.
Yeah, I think we can't let any more out. You just have to hear it for yourself the first time later on in the podcast.
But make sure you text during the podcast, because even if we're not in the studio, we'll see it, and then we'll have it for the next show.
Yep.
So if you text 877 to RadioU and tell us if you also agree or if you I think a lot of people highly disagree.
You heavily disagree with Isaiah.
So I've got good news, guys.
Yeah.
We've got a review.
Hey.
It's coming at you from Leah, who says, nothing but love. I can't even describe how much I love the Riot podcast. It's hilarious and clean for the most part. Once you get past Hudson's support for the nudist community, they interview some of the best musicians also.
Yay.
Thank you, Leah. And it's not just Leah. Anybody's allowed to leave a review. You're more than welcome, and we may read it on the show.
Yeah, please leave a good review. And then if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the podcast.
Yep.
And it helps if every so often you unsubscribe, but subscribe right again.
Yeah.
Because then that pushes us up when it promotes our podcast.
Yeah, it pushes us up somewhere.
Yeah. And then Isaiah will push us right down.
And then right back down we go.
Yeah, all the negative reviews from Isaiah's dating views will cancel everything out.
I feel like I just need to go leave the room now.
Just a little bit tolerance break. We'll come back tomorrow.
You
and then the weekend will be heavily needed.
Go home and let Eric give you an extra long hug.
I know. I'll be like, guys, Isaiah.
I'm so thankful.
Eric likes appetizers. Well, thanks for listening to the podcast, guys. Isaiah will be in with me tomorrow. Hudson, have a wonderful vacation.
Oh, thank you. I will.
Bye.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Do you remember, Nikki, the day that Disney Plus got started?
Are we at 2 years now? Or?
We're getting close.
We're getting close to
Do you remember the date?
No, but
Since
I
it
do.
was so important to you because you bought the 3-year subscription right up front, right?
Well, that was just because it was so much cheaper to do that. But I do remember I was on air that day, so it must have been a weekday. And most of the country got dumped with snow.
Oh, yeah?
Because Disney Plus said that they launched that morning, but they were overwhelmed because there's so many people at home, not at work and school.
I do remember it having issues on launch day. Well, hopefully they don't have issues on the anniversary of launch day, which is coming up on November 12th.
Hey, so is it 3 years in at this point or 2?
2 years in.
2 years?
2 years into Disney Plus, which means you only have 1 year left on your subscription.
Listen, I hardly use the thing.
You're going to need to renew.
I hardly use it, but then if there is something, it's one of those where I'd probably just keep going.
Oh, there's going to be something. November 12th, Nikki, it's all going to change for you.
What is it going to be?
Well, first of all, Shang-Chi, which I was under the impression, they kept saying the 45-day release window for all these movies that go to theaters now. It's 45 days. And then they can go on streaming services.
Yeah, they said that should have been out in October for Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, this is a long after the 45 days, but that's when Shang-Chi will finally make
on their anniversary.
Its Disney Plus debut, along with Jungle Cruise. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch both of those. How are you going to squeeze both of those in? You're going to have to take the day off of work. It's a Friday.
Well, that had already been, but that was on the one where you had to pay extra for.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that'll be the free option, or at least included with your subscription. Also, Disney Plus announced for their Disney Plus Day, November 12th, that'll also be the day that you could watch the Home Sweet Home Alone reboot.
Oh, that could be good. I really want to know which way that's going to go.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter unless it's the worst. Everybody's going to watch it.
Yeah, but I want to be happy watching it. I want it to be more like a Marvel sort of stylized in a grown-up sort of way.
Oh, yeah.
Something for the Disney Junior crowd, I guess.
I feel that they're aiming on family-friendly, but focusing on the people that grew up watching Home Alone. Yeah.
Sure.
Who was in that? I just remember it was Ellie Kemper, and that was, I don't know. It had a decent cast.
Oh, in the reboot?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. That's the only one coming to mind.
Let's see.
I thought you meant the original movie. I was
no.
I think that's Macaulay
Culkin. Donald Trump is in the second one.
That's right.
And some other people. And then also coming to Disney Plus on Disney Plus Day, you're going to have some Frozen shorts with Olaf, Simpsons shorts, Luca shorts, like the new Pixar movie, and some other shorts. And
wow.
Yeah.
Great. It just sounds like a busy day.
They're busting out all the content. But,
Let me put some reminders down.
That's in addition to their Wednesday releases, I'm assuming. So that'll be a huge week for you.
Disney Plus is just one of those things where, I don't know, it's just there. It's fine.
Yeah,
maybe
you have a hard time getting excited about it?
Yeah, it's not, even Netflix I don't get excited about anymore.
What do you get excited about?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
TikTok, that's what you get excited about.
Not even that anymore. YouTube. We just feel like you have to watch something each night. Just depends on what you're going to pick.
It started off, you were watching things to feel good. Now you're just watching things to feel anything at all.
Well, that's on November 12th, so that's the second year anniversary for Disney Plus. So they're trying to save some of their bigger items to release that day to make you want to continue with Disney Plus.
The Riot Podcast.
I want everybody to listen really closely.
I think the thing, like over the mics, you guys probably sound fine, but like in person, Isaiah and Hudson, you guys sound a little stuffy today.
Isaiah, say something.
I feel better today than I have any other day this week, to be perfectly honest.
How do you sound?
But I don't sound fantastic. Thanks for reminding me this morning, Nikki. My only job is to talk, and she's like, you don't sound very good.
Well, I just want to let both of you know, because the worry is, let's see, Hudson's going tomorrow for vacation, and Isaiah, you're filling in.
Yeah.
You're going on Breeze Airways.
Yep.
Hudson, and just, don't talk to anybody.
Well, the breeze is going to blow all of the germs
Congestion
away.
right on out.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can hear. I feel that you can hear the little, when somebody has a stuffy nose or something like that, you can hear the crackling in the back of their throat, That's how you can tell. And I don't know, I can tell I'm a little stuffed up. But I know I don't have the virus. So
that's what everybody says.
I know I don't have it. I couldn't have it, right?
It's not the same symptoms. I just have this, my nose is a little stuffy, and I had a little bit of pressure in my head last night, and that's cleared right up. So as the mucus loosens up, it's going to head on out.
But then that's worse because then it starts draining. That's when you start to sound bad.
Yeah, right. But I feel okay. I wish my nose would just, if my nose was completely cleared out, if it just it's got a little bit of residue in it. If it cleared out, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And at least you only have to talk for today, because tomorrow and Friday, you're good to go. So then you can really recover 100%.
I could just shut up. And nobody would even know. Nobody would even know at all.
Yeah, but your poor family that you're going to go see, they're like, hey, guys, wait a minute. I sound terrible.
I know I sound bad, but I'm not sick or anything. I swear, I feel fine.
Listen, I can get you an Amazon COVID at-home test for $36.99.
I know I don't have it.
Not worth
Results in 24 hours. That's what everybody says. Literally, everybody says that.
I'm vaccinated, so it's less than a 5% chance.
It doesn't matter.
Couldn't be me, right? It couldn't be me.
Hey,
what's the word when they're like, it's a breakthrough case?
Yeah, it's an anomaly, I swear.
I'm going to keep looking for the at-home test for you, and then you could put the thing up your nose at home.
You can get me tested, but it's already too late.
Yeah, it's true.
We're already exposed. Yeah. Either way.
No, you're over there. You're far enough.
You're
away
right.
from
I am. You two are done. It'll just be the Isaiah show for a couple of days.
As long as Isaiah's prepared. But yeah, okay. I just wanted to bring up the fact that you guys, congestion-wise.
This is what concerns me, though, even now, that when you have any symptom. Because basically, any symptom could be a symptom of COVID.
Yeah.
And so you have one symptom, and then it's like, well, what do we do?
Well, everybody's afraid of you.
Yeah, right. Everybody's afraid. But I think when you can just know. Actually, I don't want to tell people that. I don't want to tell people that. No, because not everybody can just know.
You just know.
No, I don't want to tell people that.
Dr. Hudson says you don't have to take a test or anything.
No.
Your body just knows.
Trust me, you know.
Isaiah, do you just know?
You'll just know.
You're
yeah.
fine, okay.
My biggest fear is if I'm out in public, I hate sneezing or coughing because people automatically are stay away from me.
Yeah, right.
100%.
Yes, I'm with you, and that's the problem. So. But the only way to solve this is for everybody to always stay home, though.
Well, it doesn't work that way. But
it doesn't.
You just stay over there, and Isaiah, you stay over there.
That's fine with me.
And I know it is the change of the seasons for a lot.
That's what it is.
So many people, everybody's just like, it's allergies.
Yeah,
and it is. It's just
it's cold kind of now. It's kind of cold.
It's the return of the common cold, I think. Now that we're all not wearing masks, or at least a lot of us are not wearing masks again. And it's that change of the seasons. That's it's spreading the cold again. It's I'm free.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring out. We have usually, we have it. We have 2 boxes of tissues here.
Oh, good.
Oh, beautiful.
The studio tissues. So if you guys need to blow your nose, just get it out over there.
It's the fall weather. It's the first day of fall is today. And so that means that's going to get kind of cold and everyone's going to get sick for a little bit.
First off, that is what everybody says. Yeah. And everybody else is saying, but this isn't anything with COVID. No, it's just a cold. And Hudson knows.
I just
Hudson knows he's not. It's not affecting him. It's something else. It's something
I feel so much better.
A 95% degree of certainty.
I love it. I love those good odds right there.
Yeah. Well, the Pfizer covers me for 95%, and I know covers me for the other 5%.
I know.
I'm good. I'm all good.
Okay, yay! It's gonna be great.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy dandy fast forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Get a load of this, Nikki. We have a new study. This is done by, looks like the University of Kent School of Economics and also the University of Reading School of Economics. So they work together on this new research that they published in the Journal of Happiness Studies.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be going to be bright and shiny stuff.
No, it just is going to be then something of what we have to do to be happy.
Yes.
So now this is just pressure.
As if happiness is a science that can be, if you check all the boxes, you can achieve happiness. Now, one of the boxes you have to check, according to their research, is eating fruits and vegetables.
Oh, they say that'll make you happy?
Yes, in a way.
Have they seen what else we eat?
It's not really. Yeah.
That's what makes us happy, but do you mean like our body's happy?
Yeah, no, I think they mean I think it's less the fruit and vegetables themselves as much as it is what it says about your ability to make choices for the long term.
Sure.
Basically, it's about delaying gratification and applying self-control. And if you can do that by eating fruits and vegetables instead of always eating, I don't know, Mountain Dew, thrashed apple, Krispy Kreme, maple donuts, things like that. If you can withhold yourself and eat healthier foods, then that's going to that shows that you are able to make better decisions in as a whole, and that's better for your happiness, being able to delay gratification.
William wanted to know, bacon makes me pretty happy. Is that on the list?
See, that's all temporary. But if you're making that's actually that's a huge thing. You make a temporary choice to eat something that tastes great at the moment. But what do they say? What is it? Something on the
lifetime. Moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips.
Oh, hips. I was thinking thighs for some reason.
It's all the
a
same,
lifetime
Eric.
On the thighs. Yeah, exactly that.
Until you die.
And so, if you're making decisions like that in other areas of your life, that it's going to say that you're only thinking in the short term, but you cannot say, well, this might not make me happier today, but it'll make me happier later on in life. And all those decisions stack up to make you eventually very happy, hopefully.
So they're saying fruits and veggies and then also exercising will positively impact the levels of happiness. It really is, too. Like, I mean, you go through the day, you're like, all right, we're making a good choice today. And then you fall off the wagon into like a thing of icing. And then you're mad at yourself, so you're not happy. And it's like that roller coaster.
You literally fall into a thing of icing. It's not even your fault.
You can buy those tubs of icing at Costco.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
So I think it's just the ups and downs of you getting unhappy because if you wanted to shoot for a goal, you then didn't end up doing it.
Yeah. So keep this study in mind, not just as you eat, but as you go through life, that it's not just about what's going to make you feel good now. It's about what's going to feel good down the road. If you always make choices that will make you, or at least most of the time make you feel choices that will benefit you down the road, eventually all those benefits will come back.
I buy a lot of fruits and veggies.
That's a start.
I know, I just have to eat them.
They're an option. Yes. They're definitely there as an option that you may eventually. You know what you need to do is buy the dried versions.
Oh, sure.
Because they won't go bad.
Yeah, you're right.
So there you go. And actually for me, since I hate the way things feel in my mouth.
Okay, well, dissect that on another show.
Yeah, that's more psychology for another day. But maybe eating the dried vegetables, it's just with the taste, I could probably handle the taste.
Maybe you could, then you'll be happier.
Does eating those little French fried crispy onions, does that count as a vegetable?
Those are good.
I know.
That's
I'll just
a
eat those
lasting
as a snack.
happiness right there.
Yeah, those are for what you get, those are so expensive. It's worse than just buying chips, but they taste so good though. Better than chips. There you go. That's your decision for the day. You start eating the little crispy onions.
And then you'll be happier.
Eventually, you'll be happier in the moment and down the line because it's a vegetable.
And fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
You seen these before, Nikki? The not reaching pouches?
I actually saw a tiny bit about it yesterday, but I didn't know if they were like out or is that something they're talking about doing, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know if they just give them away. Actually, yeah, it looks like they are, at least in Minnesota. The state troopers will be giving these away. But the not reaching pouch is something anybody could put together, really. And it is just a little packet that is meant to contain your driver's license, your insurance card, and your registration, which already off the bat, I see the good idea in it, and I'll tell you a story about how it might have benefited me, but at the same time, the driver's license, maybe you don't keep that in there because you don't have to be pulling it in and out of your wallet all the time.
Yeah, that honestly should stay in your wallet.
Yeah,
but everything else is a great idea.
Keep your insurance card and your registration, and then it's a pouch that you would have instead of, because we all probably have it in our glove compartment.
I think when you go through it, you're like, well, I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Where'd that go? So
I go through there and it's like, well, this has happened to me, and other times I've gotten pulled over where it's like, that registration's old, that's old, that insurance card's old. Now my insurance card's just on my phone, and I know if I haven't gotten pulled over in years. I know if I ever do, it'll be somewhere where I have no service, and so I won't be able to get my insurance card.
Well, you should be good. Like for mine, the insurance card, it's you don't need internet or data or anything to access it.
I know that.
Or you just save it into your photos.
I should do that, and I can't be bothered to print it. I can't be bothered to download it. I should just do it on the show right now. But so they're just meant as a way of, that you're not reaching for likely into your glove compartment, because you know what else people keep in their glove compartment? Guns. Mm-hmm. So you shouldn't be reaching into, but let me tell you the story. So that's all the benefit of this, that you have an easier access where you don't have to reach when the police are coming up to your car if they pull you over. So the first time I ever got pulled over, this is when I was working at a radio station on the eastern shore of Delaware. I had to drive because this is my first radio job. I really wanted it.
Yeah.
I didn't have my own car, and I didn't live anywhere near the radio station, as in 3 hours away.
Oh my gosh.
I would go and do a show on Saturday, spend the night, and then do another show on Sunday morning and drive back. But of course, also the show went very late. It was Saturday night and then Sunday morning. The show would go very late on Saturday night. So I didn't get a lot of sleep. So always on Sunday when I was driving back, I was so tired. It's a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
So on this, I'm 18 years old. This is my first ever, radio job. I'm driving back so tired on this super long drive, and the police come up and pull me over.
Yeah.
I've never been pulled over before at this point. So they come up to my car, and all I know, it is during daylight, so I guess they could see me a little better. But all I know is I need to get my license and registration.
Sure.
And where's my registration? It's in the glove compartment. So I'm reaching into the glove compartment, and these two police accost me. And
they tell you not to?
I'm pretty sure they didn't pull their gun, because obviously that feels like something you would remember. But also it was such a quick thing that they're freaking out at me because I'm reaching in the glove compartment, and I'm just like, I thought this is what I was supposed to do.
You're supposed to wait till they get up there to see you do it.
Yeah, nobody told me that.
You just weren't
so
aware.
So I was, I guess I came from a good enough background, you could say, a white enough background that I didn't know what to do when you get pulled over besides get your registration. So that's what I was doing, and they freaked out, and that led them to... Now, they say the reason they pulled me over was because I made an unsafe pass that an undercover police officer saw, but he wasn't even the one who pulled me over. But I didn't crash. I didn't.
Did you get a ticket?
I didn't get a ticket.
Oh, they're just checking you out.
So they pulled me over. It was multiple cars. And then they freak out when I go in the glove compartment. And then, so after that, this, also I should mention, this is in my parents' minivan, because again, I didn't have my own car. So now,
I really like that as your parents.
Now, once they see that I'm digging around in the glove compartment, now they're all on edge. So they're searching, like they didn't actually go into the car, but they were searching the car, expecting me to have some kind of contraband, they said.
Sure.
They said, we're making sure you don't have contraband. I didn't have contraband. I just had like sleeping bags and stuff because I was staying the night at a radio station the night before. And eventually, after all of this, the only thing that happened was they gave me a warning.
And they let you go?
For a warning, not for the unsafe pass that they're talking about, but for having a air freshener hanging on the mirror.
Okay, they got you for something.
Yes. After all of that.
I thought you were going to tell me what's when the people get pulled over and they're like, I'm not a citizen of this.
Oh, yeah, sovereign citizen.
Citizen.
Oh, I didn't even know enough to do that. And I wouldn't, but yeah.
And then they go and crack your window open and pull you out.
It's just tough because I thought, little 18-year-old Hudson, I thought I was doing the right thing. I've just got to get my registration. And little did I know, I guess nowadays maybe if I was 18-year-old Hudson growing up in a different time, it's like, a few years later, maybe I would know. But man. So all that to say, don't reach to the glove compartment, no matter who you are. It's not safe.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. RadioU.
Nikki, we talked today about Disney Plus Day, which is coming up November 12th. Disney Plus, they're having a good time over there. They are just putting out Marvel shows, putting out stuff for kids. People are loving it. They're eating it up. And then there's Netflix. And they're trying to find a way to keep pace with Disney Plus as they just continue to eat up market share.
Now, I'm sure Netflix still does super good.
Yeah, I think they're probably still the most popular streaming service in the U.S., or at least the most subscribers. But it does feel like Netflix, more and more people may be realizing that there's more to offer on other streaming services than Netflix. Even though, Netflix might have the quantity of more to offer, but quality maybe not as much. So Netflix trying to keep pace, and so they just made what will likely be, we don't have the exact numbers yet, but probably their biggest purchase ever to acquire intellectual property. Do you want to take a guess, or do you have an idea?
I do not.
It is, you ever heard of Roald Dahl?
So that would be, is that the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Very good.
Very good, Nikki.
Factory?
Yeah.
Wait,
Charlie and the Chocolate. Yeah. You remember some literature.
Woo!
Or do you remember literature? Or do you just know the Willy Wonka and Charlie Chocolate Factory movies?
Maybe it's halfway. A little bit of both.
Uh-huh.
There is some literature still left in me.
But Roald Dahl is much more than just Willy Wonka, Nikki. He's also the author of Matilda and The BFG and The Fantastic Mr. Fox and James and the Giant Peach and other numerous stories.
Things.
Yeah, that have been made into movies.
No, they seem fine.
And so Netflix is now planning they have purchased this for what is likely, we don't know the exact cost, but more than $100 million.
For all the stuff?
So they're going to be able to it sounds like they will be focusing on making animated features based off of Roald Dahl movies. Particularly, they have Taika Waititi. You know him.
I do.
He's going to be working on a pair of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory animated movies.
I wonder his take on it. That would be very curious.
But he's an interesting guy.
Oh, dude, the mind on that guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm impressed, and other times I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's a one of a kind.
Yeah.
And I do feel that his sensibility, oddly enough, may translate well to making children's movies.
Are you sure? Maybe.
Remember in, I guess it's Thor Ragnarok, where what's the guy that's made out of rocks? Like the alien that's made out of rocks. That he meets when he's in jail or whatever.
Oh, gosh. Why don't we remember
Korg
this?
or something like that.
No,
so it's something with a K.
Someone texted in real fast. The day...
Korg.
The Batista guy? Or
No.
Okay.
The funny one. I think that would be if he's making a movie that's based around that kind of...
Oh, Korg. Yeah, that was
Korg,
it.
yeah. So I think...
it was his character.
Yeah, right. That's him that plays it, and it feels... And you can tell that that's all him. You know what I mean? And I think that's the kind of thing that kids would love.
Well,
and adults would appreciate as well.
I appreciate you telling us about this, but every time Netflix or even the Disney stuff, whenever they talk about they acquire property.
Yeah.
So they're acquiring stuff because they want to keep you happy because they want to push out stuff.
Yeah.
That just means your stuff's going to be more expensive. That just means next year will be another $1 or $2 price increase.
Yeah, well, that $100 million got to come from somewhere.
So anytime they start shouting out they got something, or they're like, yeah, we're going to be releasing this amazing movie, you're like, great, I'm paying more.
Yeah, and when you spend this much for intellectual property, it seems to me that you would want it to have a lot of name value attached to it, where you just see a Roald Dahl, but I guess what I'm saying is anything other than Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, nobody's going to go, oh yeah, I got to make sure my kids see that, or I got to make sure I see that. Because they made I think it was Disney and maybe Steven Spielberg or somebody, it wasn't that long ago, they did a BFG movie. Who saw that? Nobody saw it.
Well, it's the people out there who
and
did.
nobody was
thanks.
like, "Oh, that's my favorite Roald Dahl story."
No one ever says that.
No, so.
But I think it might be smart. But Gary said we want a Korg origin story. So.
Yes, we do. But that's got to come from Disney. It can't come from Netflix. Sorry.
No.
So
they will not be able to acquire that one.
that would be worth a price increase in the Disney Plus subscription. if they can give us more Korg, we're in on that.
Perfect.
If they keep talking long enough, they're bound to say something that you agree with. The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
And I want to ask you guys, what is something food-wise that your date could do that just at that point you just go, nope, date over, or at least maybe no matter what else goes on in this date,
it's not
I'm
meant to
not
be.
going to do another date.
I don't know, Isaiah. What do you
got
think?
an idea?
For me, it would be like depending on what you order. Could
Really?
be a huge thing. If you order something that I find completely disgusting and you continue to eat in front of me, even if you don't know that I think it's gross, then that is like a huge no-go.
Sheesh.
So you have to that's why you have to go with the safe order on the first date.
It's a miracle, Isaiah, that you are in a long-term relationship.
But you're not saying it like in the mean way where some guys are like, why don't you eat a salad? And like,
No,
you can't eat certain
no,
food.
no.
You just mean
He
like,
just doesn't want to kiss somebody after they eat crab
If I
or
don't like
something.
it, then I don't want you to like it. So that's how it works. On the first date, if you order like something like chicken tenders or something that everybody likes, that'd be much safer. That way, down the road, then when you introduce this food to me that I don't like, then at that point I'm already too committed. So I'm already in.
What's on your not to eat food list? Then?
I don't know. A lot of
What
things.
is your deal breakers?
Green beans. That's one of them.
green beans.
That's on there. If you order green
my
beans on the
gosh.
first date, I might just leave. That would be the end of the date.
You know, I thought, he must be really like balanced with it. And then you're like, that's just a normal vegetable. How would the girl be able to know like what's on the list or not?
You must have gone through a lot of first dates.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work out.
Afterwards, they're like, hey, what was it about me that you didn't like? You're like, well, you ate green
Yeah.
beans. And that's
Those
just
green
it.
beans, what did you think was going to happen afterwards?
Sometimes maybe dates should have an exit interview so that you can know if you don't get a call back
what was
that
wrong?
it's not you, it's Isaiah and his green bean
Oh my
problem.
gosh. If he would ghost you and you're like, what did I do?
You had no idea. You thought I was like, did I say something to offend? No, you ate green beans.
Well, okay.
It was
it's
your
on
choice
you.
of meal. It was the choice of meal.
Way to give all the other people listening right now a complex.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when you go out on your first date, just get something super simple in case you run into a guy like
Green
me.
beans.
Green beans are...
No, listen. You can't do green beans. It's a no-go. A lot of vegetables, you got to stay away from those.
Oh my
Isaiah
gosh,
wants you to
that is
order
simple.
a big giant glass of milk for
Yeah.
your first date.
If you
or it's
ordered
over.
milk, that would outweigh. If you ordered milk and green beans, then I'd be like, okay, I think I could probably make this work.
Oh my gosh.
Isaiah wants to go out on a date with the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, pretty much. The Dairy Princess.
Yeah. So do you have any, Nikki, that would just be like, I couldn't handle having that on the first date?
Not so much if they were eating a certain food, but I don't like food noises. So
Yeah.
if it's someone who's like a big mouth open chewer.
Yes, that was the one I was going to go with as well.
I can't do that.
You can't.
So
I don't even mind because it happens. You talk with your mouth, with food in your mouth. It happens. You're on a date. I almost feel like it's almost offensive if you don't talk with your mouth full. But because you got to keep the conversation going.
heaven help you if it's green beans, though.
If I'm on
Literally.
a date and I don't talk with my mouth full, I'll never be able to eat.
Yeah.
Because I have to talk so
But
much.
that's different than the whole chewing with the mouth
No,
full.
yeah, that's the line though. You're just chewing. We used to call people like that Cal McGee. If you're a Cal McGee, because you chew with your mouth open.
I know you don't like the clicking noise or
that's
whenever
right.
someone does like a slurping thing.
Yeah, any mouth noise that's not talking is a problem. So this is all because we actually have a survey here.
I think we should pause a moment.
think?
Come back for the actual survey.
Tell people more things that they need to worry about when they're
I
dating.
think Isaiah's dating things has put a sour.
I know, a little sour taste on this whole, segment.
I want to explore that more, really.
I'm too afraid
I guess
to.
you guys have 3 full days to dig into that. And Isaiah's first date no-goes.
I think we should come back in a second and then go through the list of the no-go things on
All
the
right,
date.
we'll do that next.
Just in case.
Yeah, there's several of them.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the Riot for free? Radio U.
So Isaiah's still here. We've been talking about like food we don't like.
Yeah.
And he had mentioned green beans he doesn't like. And I want to let you know, we're not going to get into it, but it goes way worse.
Yeah. We should I want to hear you guys tomorrow when you have more time. Just go through all of the stuff Isaiah won't eat.
Yeah.
Doesn't want other people to eat around it.
It's not even the question of like Isaiah won't eat it. You haven't even tried some of them, but you don't want to because to quote, you're 23 and you'd know by now if you wanted it.
I said I'm a man. I know what I like and don't like, and I know I don't like green beans, even though I've never tried them. But I know I won't like it.
So weird.
You just know.
Dude,
some things you just know.
On Friday's show, you tell me tomorrow, and I'm making a list. And on Friday, I'm going to bring him in, and you're just going to try him. You're going to have to.
I don't know if I'll be able to make it through the show. I might not show up.
I'll bring ranch in. It'll just be fun. You dip it in.
I went back on my Facebook memories and found that at a recent one of the RadioU fundraisers, we did stuff where I had to eat a bunch of. It was canned food, and I didn't know what it was, and so you just get in. It's like water stuff I would never normally eat.
Yeah,
and you'd be surprised what you can actually push through and eat. So you got
you won't like it, but you'd be surprised what you can get down.
But yeah. So you got to at least give it a shot first.
Well, I don't think Isaiah can do that.
No. Everybody has something like they know they don't like, even if they haven't had it in years. Like that's the thing that I don't like.
Yeah, but
I just have a lot of those.
Had it. Not if they never had it.
Well, for this list, they're talking about like if you have really weird food habits, it could be while you're single, because like if you go on a date and you're showing those food habits, then that might be why you don't get a second date.
So it says, first off the top, 42% of men would just cut off a date or break up with somebody just because of their food habits. Only 25% of women would do that.
So wait, because of their food habits, or like the person they're on a date with?
The person they are dating.
The datee?
If the datee, if the person you're going out with has a food habit you can't stand,
the dater,
42% of men would break up with you.
I see.
Because of that. 25% of women admit they would do that. And one of the worst offenders on the list is talking while chewing. Mm-hmm. That said, 28% are guilty of doing that. They admitted to doing it. And what was it? Where did it say that? 68% said that was a deal breaker there.
So talking with your mouth full, chewing loudly comes behind it, and then the open mouth chewing, which I thought was chewing loudly.
Yeah.
But I guess not.
42% said chewing with your mouth open was enough to end a date.
Oh my goodness.
Go on a coffee date. You shouldn't be eating.
Yeah, there you go.
In the beginning of the dates, for like the first one, go somewhere else.
That's a great point, actually. You start with the coffee, and then it's just the second date that you realize the person chooses.
Then you end it there. It's the second date. It's not the first date.
You spent a little more money getting to know this person that you can't stand.
I think this is a bit much if you notice it, but they say that 44% don't approve if you double dip. So like that could end your date.
That wouldn't end my date. If you double dip, that's fine.
It's okay.
That doesn't bother me.
Unless you double dip a green bean.
Yeah.
Then it's over.
Then it's over. But
I think that's the bigger ones. The top 3 favorite dips are salsa, guacamole, and queso.
Hey, I like that idea for our first date. You get a bowl of queso or salsa for the table.
Dude, get appetizers.
Yeah, that's a good start right there.
I don't know about appetizers. That's too much money. If we're doing if that's a red flag for me. If she's like, let's do an appetizer, I'd be like, well, I don't know if we're really ready for an appetizer.
I mean, don't order meals. Just order a bunch of appetizers to try stuff. You're the worst.
I agree with that. Let's just do appetizers. Appetizers only. But we can't do a full meal and an appetizer. Then we're spending too much money on this.
Isaiah's filling in for Hudson. Hudson's going to Connecticut for the rest of the week. I don't know anymore, Isaiah. I don't know about this.
Isaiah might break up with you for the show after.
Yeah, I know.
You start eating during the show, he's going to have a problem with it.
I don't feel like I can bring a breakfast in.
No, yeah.
I can just sit here with my water.
Yeah, if we're doing appetizers on the date, like that's like a pretty big date if it's an appetizer.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. If we're doing appetizers, we're either doing appetizers or maybe if you want to get a dessert, that's like the same thing. An appetizer, that's an expensive little thing you're tossing in there.
A dessert is an ending appetizer.
You gotta make a good first impression, and that means you need to be willing to go for the appetizers. If you can't even cover the appetizers.
I don't want to toss
like
appetizers
Isaiah.
if I don't know this is going to keep on going. If it's the first day, I'm like, I don't know if we're ready for
but what if
appetizers.
you just missed out?
Let me ask this. Do you pay for the first date?
Yeah.
Or are you going to go halvesies?
No, I would pay for the first date.
If the person you were dating, if they said, I'll go halvesies with you.
Then I would say we're good to go. If you're going to chip in, then we can get the queso or whatever it is.
But are you going to eat half of the queso or whatever?
Of course I am, yes. As long as we're going halvesies on it, why wouldn't I get to indulge into the queso if I'm paying for it?
I don't know. I don't know how to respond to this.
This is why dating is so hard for some people. Because people like Isaiah make it hard.
Remember, according to Isaiah, he's 23 and he's a man.
I'm a man,
he's a
so
man.
I know what I like and I don't like. I don't like when girls order an appetizer on the first date.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nature. That's why I come up here. It is. What?
Nature.
That's when Will Ferrell plays Robert Goulet on Saturday Night Live. Da-da-da-dee-da-da-doo. Nature. Big Papa.
Yeah, thank you for doing
Look
that.
Look it up, everyone.
Hey, just a heads up, too. Hudson's taking a few days off. He's going on vacation to Connecticut, so he'll be back on Tuesday next week. Isaiah's filling in for the next few days with me.
Yeah, so make sure you tune in the next couple days where I will not be here to do those weird things that I've just been doing.
That's all right.
So, in nature news, in Canada, the nature police authorities are accusing a mountain goat
the park police
of murder.
Oh, really?
Of murdering, and the suspect or the victim is not who you would expect, especially when the killer is a goat. Allegedly, the victim is a female grizzly bear.
Oh, they were wondering what had killed it.
Yep.
And so they did a bear autopsy on it.
And they found that it had dagger-like wounds where it looks like it had been basically stabbed in the neck and in the armpits. And those wounds proved to be fatal. And they believe that it was a mountain goat that was the cause of death, that the mountain goat went after the grizzly bear.
Okay, you know how, does anybody else think of certain ways, I don't want to die?
Yeah.
I don't want anything to stab me in my armpits. I'm going to put that down on the list. I don't even want to, even if I didn't die from it, I don't want to be stabbed in the armpits.
That'd be a bad place to be. You don't hear about that very often.
You don't.
You don't think about having a fatal armpit wound.
So I wonder if goats can really take down grizzlies often, or did it just happen to be the right spot?
Was it just a coincidence?
Yeah, just like
that
the
it
right.
Just stabbed it in the right spot, and it was in the mountains, so the bear kind of fell backwards, and that contributed. And the goat made that face, was like, oh no, I don't know what I've done, and then ran away or something, and didn't help the grizzly bear, and the grizzly bear could have survived if only the goat would have called 911 quicker or something.
This was
You think all that could have happened?
I think we're overthinking it. I think we are. What did happen is they found the bear. It was about 154 pounds, which to me doesn't seem as big
small,
for a bear.
right? Is it a baby?
But they found it by a hiker. It was then, dude, they spent money on this. They airlifted the bear body out.
The Canadian tax dollars at work, probably.
They did. And, mostly because they didn't want other predators to come and eat off the bear.
Sure.
Because that bear was in an area where there were still hikers and stuff. So I could see why they would do that. But, man, that must be expensive.
Now, my mind just goes to, I've listened to enough true crime podcasts to think that maybe this is just all a hoax, a setup. Where
to make it seem like the goat
seems like it was the goat, but in truth, it was
another bear.
It was another bear, a jealous bear, an ex-lover, something like that, and that they knew the goat would be an easy target for them to set up for this murder. So they killed it. They probably killed another goat, took the goat's horns, and then used that to kill the grizzly bear so that they could get away with it and really make it seem.
Well,
so I think we need to look into this one more before we go throwing accusations at this goat.
I think in the back of my mind, too, every time we hear different stories about animals and they're like, all right, if you find yourself that you've come across this type of bear or this mountain lion or this or that, there's ways you're supposed to try to protect yourself or what you do to try to not die in that situation.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I have to worry about mountain goats.
No. Well, the
So
tips
now
are
I need to know.
Keep your arms down. Don't show your armpits. That really sets them off.
It does. Man, I'd be like,
Protect
Please don't stab me in my armpits.
Protect your armpits at all costs.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
The notorious Conor McGregor.
His bitch?
Yeah.
Will that be enough to humble the guy? I don't know.
Nothing can humble Conor McGregor. He seems to lose. Well, first of all, how is he even healthy enough to be out there throwing a pitch? It wasn't that long ago his ankle broke.
Sure.
In a pretty excruciating fashion in his last MMA fight.
Well, that was faking it. No, just teasing. Is like anybody a big MMA fan? Because my question for Conor McGregor, I know he even did some boxing, right?
Yeah, right. He did. He fought Floyd Mayweather.
But for him, every time I don't follow like the sport as much. So whenever I hear a story about Conor McGregor, it's not a pleasant one. It's always something that he's done or has been done around him. Like he just seems like a real kind of a pain.
He's a hothead.
Yeah.
And that it probably has served him well as a fighter before, but now he hasn't had as much success as a fighter lately.
He's getting older.
And he gets injured a lot, and then he still takes that hothead personality. He's got a hot Irish temper, as they would say.
Question. So if you're an MMA fan, like, does anybody still like Conor McGregor? Like, is he good enough to act like that? Or is he not good enough as a fighter anymore? That's what I was curious about because he can't move on to baseball.
No, he definitely can't. His pitch, he throws it and it nearly goes into the stands. And you're like, oh, so he just threw it too high over the catcher's head?
Oh, no.
No, into the stands like by third base.
They say one of the worst baseball pitches of all time.
Yeah, it's worse than you can imagine. Although, I guess you're used to a bad pitch going and it falls well before the plate. So at least he had some strength behind it, but he just had no control whatsoever. And you know what? At least it's got people talking about him.
So he's 33 years old, and it was at the Wrigley Field yesterday between the Cubs and the Twins.
Yep.
And it doesn't help him. He always wears these suits.
Yeah.
Like, that's not
He's got to look good.
That's not easy to pitch in, I bet, but people just don't like him. So I think they really had a fun time seeing him have such a poor pitch.
You know, your question is good, though, of do people still like him? Because I only have watched MMA when it's him fighting because he's such a big personality. It is incredibly entertaining, but I have grown weary of tuning in for his fights just to continually see him lose every time lately.
It's almost like, you know how all the YouTubers who do the boxing stuff?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, fine, but are they good enough?
Yeah.
to be in the sport if they are so like just loud with all their stuff.
I would love to see McGregor go up against one of the Paul brothers.
Oh, you think?
Because he would actually legitimately probably knock him out.
Sure.
I mean, he's good enough to do that. They're not actual. I know the one fought Floyd Mayweather, and it was obviously pre-agreed upon that it would be a draw. I don't think McGregor has that in his personality where he could pre-agree upon a draw.
Sure.
So I would love to see that, and he'd actually knock one of them out. And I'd still be rooting for him over the Paul brothers.
Conor
for sure.
McGregor's still very fit. Like, he could just destroy all of us.
Yeah. And if any of us broke our ankle the way he did, we wouldn't be out throwing pitches a couple months later. So,
but it seems like he just always has something going on.
Yeah.
You just heard the worst of the worst. We'd give you the best of the best, but we'd have to find that. As soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.